Sounds like a trip to the chiropractor. Justin, when you get older, your speech is a large type. So. My name is David Goguen. I'm an associate professor of journalism here. I've been here 2 years. The students who've come to know me know that I'm very frugal, and I tell them a story about I have a certain group of relatives that come to visit, and they go through an enormous amount of toilet paper. This is true, and I've learned that if you step on the roll and you make it oval shaped and then you put it back in, when you pull it, only a few sheets come off and you can save a lot. What does this have to do with L3 leadership? It leads into the fact that I also have oil lamps in my house, and I really do. I like to read by an oil lamp because it brings you back to another place and time. And I think about my father talking about during the war in Massachusetts, playing checkers in a closet when they had coastal blackouts, you know, with an oil lamp and stuff. So in using oil lamps, I've come to understand a phrase that I'm sure that most, if not all of you have heard. It's called burning the midnight oil. And it means working late. It means working late and doing something that's beyond what's required to do a job and do it well. So it's an absolute privilege to introduce Mary Beth Jewell as a recipient of an L3 award today, because I know she's getting this honor because she's burned the midnight oil. Mary Beth is the editor of Raider View, the student newspaper of Lindsey Wilson College. A couple of years ago, the student newspaper here was riddled with mistakes. A high percentage of its content was editorials and opinions. In journalism, it's easy to stand outside of a house and throw stones at it. It's easy to have a personal agenda. Anybody can do that in journalism, but this isn't the type of journalism that serves the mission of this college. Here, under the leadership of Mary Beth, or MJ, as she's called, the standard has been set for a style of journalism that embraces an atmosphere of active caring. Every informed student learns and grows. And as I'm reading this, I just realized, Mary Beth, I made a typo. It says, every informed student learns and crows. Grows is much better. At the beginning of the school year, the newspaper staff, under the leadership of Mary Beth, MJ, adopted the motto, "We, not me." And I've got to tell you, with the semester almost over, this has been one of the most selfless staffs I have ever worked with. There were times when I was worried about Mary Beth. I told them, I want you out of there by midnight. And they stay all night. True, would stay all night. Sometimes I'd leave at 2 o'clock, the staff is still there, and they would send me emails reporting on progress. We can't find such and such a picture with that. I still can't figure out one particular email that came at 6:30 a.m. one morning. I'd left her and the staff about 2 a.m. and they had stayed up all night just to make sure there were no mistakes in the paper. And the email read, and I quote, "The cow ran away with the spoon." Fortunately, no white van pulled up in front of the building and there were no interventions or anything. But what we did have, however, was an excellent newspaper printed and distributed by the end of the day. And at the end of the day, you, Mary Beth, certainly made your mark on the state level also. The staff and yourself, Mary Beth, won several awards on the state level last year, and this year, Lindsey Wilson College was the only school in our division, which has a lot of prestigious names, schools in there. But we're prestigious too because we were the only school that had 2 people in the top 3 in the on-demand competition. And Mary Beth was one of those who won that. We gave them a run for the money there. Transylvania Center, Lindsey Wilson had the two in there. And I was very proud of you and the staff. Mary Beth, when you and the newspaper staff burned the midnight oil and pulled those all-nighters to bring us the campus newspaper, I hope when you walked back to the dorm you not only saw the rising sun, but felt its beauty and the grace of God spreading its light, and I hope you felt a sense of accomplishment. Now, L3, living, learning, and leading. How does Mary Beth exemplify learning? From 2007 to now, she's been a steady and frequent fixture on the college dean's list and president's list. At a recent awards banquet, there were only 3 other Lindsey students that had accomplished such a feat. She's also a member of the Alpha Chi National Honor Society, the Lambda Pi Eta National Communication Honor Society. How does she lead? She's the senior class president, director, and secretary. I can't figure that one out, the director and secretary. Somebody didn't step up on the secretary part, I think. The director and secretary for the LWC Student Alumni Relations Council. She was a Rate of View feature editor her junior year, and as aforementioned, she's the current editor of Rate of View now. By virtue of breathing on the living part here, you know, obviously Mary Beth is living. But I guess we need to define living as something, what we do that's important while we're breathing, and what's important is service to others. As a member of the Bonner program, which I now have tremendous amounts of respect for, and I hope you send us people to work with the newspaper in the future, Mary Beth has worked at the Center for Courageous Kids, Adair County Public Library, Kentucky Shakespeare Festival, Colonel William Casey Elementary School, and she was an AmeriCorps volunteer. We all know that L3 stands for living, learning, and leading, but in my book, MJ has won the L6 award. Along with living, learning, and leading, she's exemplified extraordinary qualities of listening, love, and the final L, which is legacy. Mary Beth, please come up and accept your awards, and thanks for a job very well done.